Hey guys, today is I think it's August 26th. I'm not too sure about that because it's actually been pretty crazy these past few days. Yesterday, my neighbor's little girl, who a lot of you guys know who she is, little Zoe, that I have helped take care of ever since she was an infant. She's my next door neighbor's little girl. She and her little sister and her dad were in a very serious car accident yesterday. Her mom and I were actually outside, and we looked up and there was a terrible storm brewing. I mean, the sky was just black, the wind was going crazy, and we were just talking to each other, and she said, well, I was like going around and putting things away that might blow over, because we live kind of in a valley and it gets pretty windy, and we have a breezeway that just gets insane whenever we have storms. So I was like running around picking things up and like tying things down in case they would blow away, because we were literally in the red on the radar, and it was supposed to have been bad. It never really turned out to be anything. But I was doing that, and she said something wicked is coming, talking about the storm, and she was taking pictures of the sky. And we said, see you later. She went inside. 2 minutes later, she called me, crying, sobbing. I couldn't hardly understand anything that she was saying because she was so upset. And she was saying that her daughter Zoe and her little sister and their dad were in a really bad wreck, and they were sent to the trauma hospital. And so it's just kind of been a crazy past couple days, because I've been trying to be here to help her take care of her dog and just make sure everything's okay around her house and everything. And emotions have been high. I mean, I love that little girl as if she was my own. She's a very special girl who loves Jesus. We just went to church together on Sunday. She's gonna be fine. She just has some pretty nasty cosmetic injuries to her face, and she got some teeth knocked out, and she has a big gash from her lip up to her cheek. She had to have that stitched, and she's got scrapes and bruises and scratches all over her little face, and she's pretty in shock, I think, and emotionally upset, but she's gonna be okay. And her little sister is gonna be okay, and her dad's gonna be fine. But it was pretty scary and very emotional and heartbreaking. It just breaks my heart to see her in the condition that she's in, and I've just been trying to encourage her, and her spirits are starting to lift. And she FaceTimed me today, and she seemed to be in pretty good spirits. She's a little bit self-conscious, but anyway, I just say all this to say that I don't know what it is about this year. Everything with COVID, and the friend of mine who is 40 years old and has breast cancer, and then this happens yesterday, and just also so many personal things have taken place this year, and I'm just like, when is enough enough? So, and I'm currently sitting outside because my husband called me over an hour ago and said he was about a half hour away from home, coming home from work, and he's not here yet. He's not answering my calls or my texts, and I'm a little bit worried because just with everything that happened yesterday. And I've been having a lot of dreams about my phone being disconnected to trying to call people. So anyway, I am doing this video to share with you a couple dreams that I had. I just apparently am rambling, but I just wanted to explain to you guys what's been going on. I've just been an emotional mess this entire year. and just very busy with so many different things going on. It's like I'm constantly being pulled in every direction. It's like every day something's going on, and I have been meaning to share these dreams with you guys for like a week now, but I just never seem to be able to do it. I don't seem to be able to get through it because I'm constantly distracted. So basically, oh my goodness, this dream I had over a week ago, it took me a half an hour to share this dream with my husband. So I'm just gonna simplify it for you guys and just give you the main theme of what was going on, which that dream and the dream that I had yesterday, they have a common theme about trying to call 911, and I'm either like not able to get through to 911, or in the dream that I had yesterday, I called 911 and they sent out, well, they were like, okay, we'll send over someone right away. And then in the dream, it was literally an hour later that the police arrived. And I even remember thinking in the dream, that's strange. Why did it take them an entire hour to get here and help me? Because in the dream, there was something going on. There was an attack of the enemy. There was like a thief and robber outside my house, and we all know who that is. And so I called 911, and like I said, they said, we'll send someone right over. An hour later, the police came. But here's what's very strange. I saw the police car coming up our road, and it turned into our driveway. And for some reason, the police car was like emitting fireworks. It was like popping off firecrackers out of the police vehicle, which is very strange. I was like, why are there fireworks just kind of like exploding out of the police car? And I still don't quite have a connection with that. I'm not sure what that means. But what was really, really strange was when the police got out of the vehicle in the driveway, there was something very off about these police officers. They were acting very weird and unnatural. The best way I can describe how they were behaving was, it was almost like they were high on drugs or demon possessed. It was like they were kind of out of their mind, and they had a very heightened state of like a very heightened mentality. They just were very like amped up and very animated. So much so, actually, that the dream even physically portrayed them as being almost cartoon animated. You know those, if you've ever seen a claymation film, that's almost what this vehicle of police officers looked like physically in the dream. It was like their personalities and their behavior was so animated and like very extra and very not normal, very unnatural. Like I said, it was almost as if they were on a high, kind of like, I don't know what was going on with their state of mind, but it was transferring over to their physical appearance to where they almost looked like a claymation cartoon. It was very, very strange. I don't know if these cops were, I don't know if they had like the mark of the beast or something. I don't know. The dream didn't say what was causing them to be acting so strange. But I just remember seeing them get out of the vehicle that was exploding with fireworks. And they were just kind of like hyped. They were like, yeah, let's go. And they seemed a little bit mad. Not angry, but like mad. Kind of, they were a little bit crazed or something. I don't know what it was, but they just weren't acting normal. There was something just unnatural. I don't want to say unhuman because the dream didn't say that. But there was something going on in them that just was not right. And like I said, it was kind of like they were demon possessed, but they weren't acting evil. They weren't like mean or attacking me or anything. But I think we tend to forget that, people around us can be demon possessed, and it might not always be very obvious, and it might only manifest in them as, very subtle things such as anger, or, it's not going to look like it does in the Exorcist movies all the time. So they could have been demon possessed, but they weren't like acting evil or something. Like I said, it was just something was very, very wrong with their mental state. They were they were controlled by something very unnatural. I don't know how to describe this, but there was something very wrong with the cops. I don't know what the fireworks was all about. And again, in this dream, there was something about calling 911. I don't know why in all these dreams lately I'm trying to get through 911. And then the other dream that I had where I also was trying to call 911, this one was very, very strange. Basically, in the dream, I had just got off from my job. I get off from my job at 4 o'clock, and in the dream, I decided to stop by the Dollar General store and pick up a few things. And so I went into the Dollar General and got my items and got in line. I'm skipping a bunch of things. This dream was chock full of details, but if I were to share the entire dream, I would be sitting here for an hour. So I'm just gonna cover what I think are the major important parts. So I got my things, got in line, and I noticed that my cousin Stephanie was in line as well. And I looked in her hands, and she had a Christmas ornament kit. It was like a make your own Christmas ornament. It had like all the little different pieces to it that you could construct yourself. It was like a little DIY project. And I think it had like snowmen and Christmas trees, pretty typical Christmas theme. And I said to her, I was like, oh, that's cute. That looks like a fun little project for me to do to keep me busy this evening or this weekend. And I think that kind of just ties into in real life. I have really been trying to make sure that my mind is staying busy and that I am staying busy. I always try to be, for the most part, always doing something. I just find that it's better for my well-being to always keep my mind busy. So I thought that looked like a fun project to do, and I said, hey, where did you get that? I want to get one. And she pointed over to the aisle just to my right. It was literally like 5 steps away, and so she kind of just sidestepped out of line over to that spot real quick and went down the aisle, and she picked up one of the Christmas ornament kits, and she brought it back and placed it in my hands. Well, I looked down and I was very confused because the one that she gave me was not, it was like a teacher themed Christmas ornament kit. It wasn't the one that she had, but it had like the pencil and the apple, everything teacher themed. And I remember thinking in the dream, that's very strange. Why would she give me a teacher themed Christmas ornament kit? Because I am not a teacher. I've never been a teacher. I'm not a teacher. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I decided that since it was like I was second in line, the person in front of me was still paying for their stuff or like still laying their items up on the counter. So like I said, the Christmas aisle was like steps away. So I was like, I have plenty of time to just dart right over there, grab one, and get right back in line. I wouldn't be holding anybody up. It would have taken me like 3 seconds. So I sidestepped over to the aisle and I looked down it, and there was no Christmas stuff anywhere to be seen. I just remember like going up and down the aisle, and I'm like, where did she get these? Because there isn't any Christmas stuff in this store. So I just kept trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. So I decided that I would just lay down the one that she handed me, and I would come back another time and look for it because I didn't want to hold up the line. So I set it down and I went back and I was like, whatever, I'll come back this weekend. I don't know if this is kind of speaking to my suspicion that I have that they are going to cancel Christmas this year, or possibly this, if we're still here next year, I feel like this year might be like a soft cancellation of the holidays. We're coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas here in a few months, and I feel like with everything that's going on, I mean, my family wasn't able to be together for Resurrection Sunday or Easter or whatever you call it this year, and that's my favorite holiday because I feel like that's really the number one opportunity to witness to my family who aren't saved, to witness and share Jesus on that day, and we were not able to get together on Easter this year. So I kind of have a suspicion that we may not have Christmas this year. So I wondered if not seeing any Christmas things down the Christmas aisle had something to do with that. I know normally this time of year they are starting to put out the Christmas decorations. And I wanted to ask you guys if you noticed that they were doing that this year, because I have not really been in any stores to see if they have been or not. So anyway, I got back in line, and the store clerks at this Dollar General, I don't know what their problem was. It was like 4 or 5 workers, and they were all women. They all seemed to be like middle-aged, and they all had something against me. It was like they had a vendetta against me and me only, nobody else in the store. Everything I tried to do, everything I tried to purchase, they made it difficult for me. They tried to cheat me out of my money. One of the things that I bought, which is really weird, was a bowl of ice cream that I literally just ate right there in the store. And I knew that the ice cream was like somewhere around like $3 or $4. And when it was my turn to pay for my items, I said, "Ma'am, excuse me, but this ice cream was like $3 or $4, and I literally was only given like a scoop, like a 50-cent worth scoop of ice cream." So I said, would it be okay if you could just refund my money, or I will very happily wait while someone goes in the back and gives me the proper amount of ice cream that gives me my money's worth. And they were like, "Nope, you ate the ice cream, you paid for the ice cream, you got what you're gonna get, and that's it." And this was the attitude of all these women that worked at this Dollar General. It was like everything I did. They were making it hard for me. They would not give me my money back. They would not give me the proper amount of product that I paid for. So, and then I looked out the front doors of the Dollar General, and there was a vehicle that pulled up to the storefront, and they like parked in like a huge mud puddle, and 2 women got out of the car. They looked like twins, and they were extremely drunk, like staggering. They literally tripped over their own 2 feet and fell face first into that mud puddle, and they were so drunk that they didn't even bother to get up. I'm not sure exactly what that was about, but my attention turned back to what I was doing, and so I purchased my items or whatever they would allow me to get, and I was like, forget it, I just want to get out of here and go home. So I walked out of the store and walked towards my car that I had parked directly in front of the store, and I looked around and noticed that my car was not there. I was like, okay, I know I parked here, but I started to panic a little bit, and I was like, okay, just calm down. Maybe I forgot that the parking lot was full or something and I had to park somewhere else. So I looked all over the entire parking lot, and it was as if somebody had towed my car. Nobody ever came into the store to explain it to me. I had not been illegally parked or anything. It was like somebody just towed my car or stole it or something, and it was like everything was being everyone was conspiring against me, and it almost even kind of felt like everyone in the store was staged or set up. It was like they were all placed there to kind of sabotage me or something. Even the shoppers that were in line behind me, it just felt like everything was staged. I don't know. I don't know if the store clerks were the ones that conspired against me and towed my vehicle. The dream didn't say that. But anyway, I was like, where is my car? So I pulled out my phone and I decided to call my dad and ask him to come give me a ride home. And I know that symbolizes calling my father for help. You know, when we're in trouble, we call out to our Heavenly Father. But for some reason, I couldn't get a hold of him. And then I decided, okay, I'll just call my brother. He lives pretty close. Maybe he can come give me a ride home, and then I can figure everything out. I was just exhausted and felt like everything was against me and I wanted to go home. But I could not contact my brother either. My phone just would not call out to anybody. And I really started to get frustrated and a little bit panicked, and I was like, okay, I know my husband is at work, but I'm gonna call him and just explain to him what's happened. What should I do? I can't get a ride home. I can't call the towing company because my phone wasn't working, but again, my phone was not connecting to anybody. It was like someone had disconnected my phone. So here I am. Everyone in the store is against me and making things difficult for me. Someone has towed my car or something. It's just missing. And nobody has informed me of why or where it is or anything. And now it's like someone just completely disconnected my phone. I have no connection to anybody. It's just dead. I kept like dialing the numbers and hitting the green call button, but it just wouldn't even leave that screen. It just wouldn't even attempt to dial out. So I decided to go back in the store and see if I could use someone's phone in there. But as I get to the storefront, there is one of the women that work there locking up the store for the day. It's like somewhere around, I would guess like maybe 5 o'clock. The dream did not say that, but like I said, I get off at 4 and I drove over there, so it was probably around 5 o'clock. And the store clerk I'd see her turn the key in the door, she locks the store up, and that's it. And I'm like, I knew in the dream that this particular Dollar General store should not have closed until 9 or 10 p.m. At least where I live, that's usually how late those stores are open. So I'm like, why is she closing the store at like 5 o'clock or whatever time it was? Everything was just so weird. And she turns and starts walking away, like walking towards her car. And I thought it was very weird because by the time that I walked out of the store and walked over to the parking lot that was right in front of the store and realized that my car was gone, somehow everyone in the store that was in line behind me, and I want to say there was like maybe 5, 6, 7 people behind me, they had already like purchased their items, counted the register, shut down the store, and everybody else was gone except that woman. She was the last to lock up and leave the store. And I'm like, what is going on? How did they have time to do that? And that's why I say it kind of felt like even the shoppers, everything was just very strange. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone and everything was being staged and set up against me. So anyway, she's walking towards me or towards her car, and I get her attention and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, but my car has been towed or something. It's not here. And my phone isn't working and I can't call out for help for anybody to give me a ride home. And as I'm explaining all of this to her, she's like nodding her head really fast. She's saying, yep, okay. And she's like speed walking away from me. And she's not listening to anything I have to say. She doesn't care that I'm in trouble and need help. She's just like, okay. And nodding her head, and she's just making a beeline out of there. Okay, so between the storefront door and where she's walking, we are standing in a covered garage area. And it was like a covered parking garage. And so to my right is the Dollar General door, and to the left side where she's going is like an industrial size garage door. And she walks over to that, she pulls it down real quick, slams it shut, and locks it. And she's on the other side. And here I am in this covered parking garage with no windows, no doors. The dollar store is locked up. There's no way for me to get in there. The garage door, I am not getting out of there. This thing was, just a big industrial sized garage door, and I'm locked in. I have no connection to anybody, and I'm panicking because I'm realizing that I'm gonna have to be spending the night in there. Nobody knows where I'm at. I can't call anybody. It was just, I was in a panic. And then, I don't know, sometimes dreams are weird. Somehow I found myself, the dream just zapped me to the other side of the garage door. I don't remember how I got out of that covered parking area, but it was just somehow I found myself on the opposite side of the garage door where, I was outside. Now, I don't know why in this dream I didn't just walk into another business and just ask them to use their phone. I think the dream was just trying to portray to me the point of this dream. And so it wasn't on my mind to just walk across the street and ask for help. So I still was kind of in that state of mind where, oh my gosh, I'm stranded, my car's gone, my phone's not working. So I decided, I remembered that my phone had this feature where even if you were having issues with your phone, you were still able to make an emergency call out to 911. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna call 911. Again, I'm dreaming a lot about dialing 911 and having issues with them. So I hit 911 on my phone. I'm kind of calming down because I know this one's gonna go through. That's why this feature is on my phone, because it's gonna go through. So I hit 911, I hit the call button, and again, it just does not dial out. It doesn't even attempt to. I'm just pounding that call button and it's just nothing. And I am just like, what is going on? So I keep trying to hit the call out button, and while I'm doing that, I'm telling myself that I can just walk to the end of the street corner, and see what the name of the street is that I'm on, and get a sight of a landmark or a nearby business, so that when I patched through to 911, I could give them details of where I was at so they could come get me and give me a ride home. I don't know why in this dream I didn't know or recognize where I was at. I've never actually seen this place in real life before. It's not my town. It seemed to be a very small downtown, kind of run down, older neighborhood, I guess. And like I said, I walked to the end of the street. I could see the two street corners, the two street signs, and in the dream, I could see them. But at the same time, they were blurred. It was very weird. But I was like, oh, okay, this is the streets that I'm on, and I can tell the police where I'm at, and they can come give me a ride. Again, I don't remember what the streets were called because they were actually blurred out in the dream. So I'm guessing that particular detail wasn't important to anything. And then I was like, okay, let me just turn and look and see what business is on the corner of this street, just to give them additional details of where I was actually standing. And this is very strange. So I noticed there was this very small kind of hole in the wall little restaurant, little eatery, very, very small town. And I knew in the dream, for some reason, somehow, that it was a Louisiana kitchen. It was a Cajun restaurant. I knew they served like Cajun shrimp and biscuits and things like this, which is very, very strange because I have never eaten that kind of cuisine. I don't live anywhere near Louisiana. I've never been there. I just knew in the dream this is like a Louisiana restaurant and like a Cajun restaurant. And in fact, I'm actually even allergic to fish and shrimp, so I can't eat Cajun shrimp. So I know that this particular detail stood out for a reason. And I'm pretty sure that's where I woke up. Now, I had this dream like a week ago, and right after I had this dream, I heard that there is a storm, like 2 twin hurricanes or tropical storms brewing down in the Gulf, and it's like headed for Louisiana. And remember in the one dream, sorry for my dog barking in the background. Remember in the dream, I looked outside and there was like a huge mud puddle and the drunk women looked like twins. So I know this is a lot of details and this video is getting really long. I'm hoping that it's going to upload. And this is just 2 of the dreams that I've had where I am trying to call 911 and I'm having issues, and I don't know, there are like a lot of dreams of like issues with my phone. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I wanted to share also a word I heard in the spirit. I shared this on the YouTube community page like 2 weeks ago, I guess, I don't know. But I woke up hearing the word gravitational pull, and I think that is just speaking to everything that's going on in the heavens. I'm thinking it's going to cause some pretty chaotic weather patterns. So yeah, that also could be why I keep dreaming over and over about snowstorms and like intense, violent thunder and lightning storms. So I'm pretty sure that's all I have to share for now. I'm gonna end this and try to call my husband again, and I'll be back if the Lord gives me anything to share with you guys. So hang in there, you guys. I truly believe time is really, really short. Okay, bye.